Thank you for joining this e-learning module about Better Impact. Better Impact is the volunteer software that Bluegrass Care Navigators uses for our volunteer services department. When you go to log in to My Impact page, you will see your username and password to be put in. If you've forgotten your username and password, simply click here to obtain either of those. Also know your volunteer liaison can help you with this. Once you click log in, you will see a screen like this. Go to the top right where My Profile and hover over that. Contact information is very important to keep updated. There you will see your username and a place to fill in your contacts such as your address, email, phone number. Always hit save whenever doing anything in Better Impact. And if you're unsure if you've hit saved, you can always hit it again. Please know that anything in Better Impact, your VL can correct and fix. So there's no need to stress. One thing that we do ask is that you select, if possible, text messaging. If your cell phone company does not charge you anything additional, that's a great way for us to reach a large number of people in case of an emergency. So please select text messaging. At the top, you can see here, this is where you can upload your photo that we use for your badge. You can remove and update and download your photos. Also in My Profile, you will see Training. Once you select Training, you can see any of these e-learning modules as often as you would like. For example, I'm going to click on the Advanced Care Planning in Kentucky and hit Take. Once I do that, all the videos are going to pop up, and sometimes there are PowerPoints. And then you can answer any questions that are there and hit Submit. Once you hit Submit, your volunteer liaison knows that you have viewed that material. Also under My Profile is you can change your password. So if for any reason you need to change your password, you can do that there. Other things here include files. If you click on Files and then go to the location where you volunteer, there's lots of information there, including the handbook and policies for you to review. To submit your volunteer hours, simply click on the Hours tab. Know that in here it says show these activities, recent, active, and inactive. Often under the recent, it's only going to be things that have been accessed in the past week or two. If you need to enter hours for an activity and you don't see that in your pull down, try clicking the Active tab, and that'll give you more selection. If you ever don't see an activity or you can't find an activity, let your VL know. I'm going to show you a couple examples on how to put your hours in. So I'm going to select an activity. Maybe I volunteered on the bereavement mail crew. Know that what this date here will be is often the date of today, the date you're putting the hours in. And we always want you to put your hours in right away. But for example, perhaps I volunteered on the mail crew yesterday. I need to change that date to yesterday's date. You're always going to want to put your time in 15-minute increments. So round up to the nearest 15-minute increment. So if I volunteered an hour and 20 minutes, I'm going to put in an hour and 30 minutes and save that. If I have a patient that I went to see, I'm going to find my patient's number, which my VL told me, and it's going to bring up this I did was companionship in a home, and this is the patient's number. I need to make sure that I pick the correct date that I volunteered, which happened to be over the weekend, the 29th. I was with this patient 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I'm going to make it 2 hours and 30. Your VL can pick different feedback fields that ask you questions. This VL has asked me how many hand massages did I complete. I didn't complete any. I'm not trying to do that. Then I need to put in the patient's ID number that BCN has assigned that patient. In the title there, it shows me it's 12345. So I'm putting that number in. Next section is required, and it's volunteer notes. And it asks me not to include any identifying information. I want to be sure that I don't put the patient's first name, last name, the caregiver's names, initials, anything identifying diagnosis about that patient. You need to keep it simple. If you don't have anything to say about that visit, that's okay. Please just share that in your comments. Things you could put are: there are no changes, concerns, or issues notated during this visit. The visit went well, and there were no concerns to report. You don't want to include any identifiers at all because this is not HIPAA secure. You also don't want to include your own personal judgments or assumptions about the visit. Stick to just the facts and what you witnessed. If you have any needs that need to be immediately reported, you still need to call your VL to tell them that. Documenting in Better Impact does not replace contacting your VL. So for this visit, I'm going to put visit went well, played cards, and then patient took a nap. No concerns. And then I'm going to save that and send it to my VL. As always, contact your volunteer liaison if you have any questions about Better Impact. Thanks so much.